Hey, what is up YouTube? Murderous Enemy here coming at you with a tip on how to get better at Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, there are tons of videos all over YouTube explaining all their different types of tricks and tips, and this is just one simple tip that I'm going to give you guys from my personal experience and how it's made me a better COD player overall. And this was first introduced in Call of Duty Black Ops 1. It's basically just straight up combat training. You know, when combat training first came out, everybody wanted to put it on the lowest difficulty, put on unrealistically high kill streaks, and then just getting kills over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until they were on the highest level possible in combat training. Well, it's unrealistic, and then people would get bored of it, and then they'd just be like, oh, okay, well, that was fun for a while it lasted, but now that I beat it, you know, there's no reason for me to continue playing. And I don't understand that because, I mean, that is a majority of people all over the world, basically, and except for a select few people that really use this to their advantage. Okay, what I mean here is you can do that, yes, of course, just, you know, get your fun, make you look like a badass running around on Recruit with unrealistically high kill streaks and then posting it on YouTube so it looks like you're really amazing. But what you can do to make yourself a better COD player is put on kill streaks that you feel like you would use in a game. For example, I wanted to figure out a way where I could get the least amount of kills but have my kill streaks repeatedly cycle themselves. And what that means is so I can get a least amount of kills, but my kill streaks will do most of the work for me. Now in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, that's extremely difficult to do because they have a bunch of kill streaks that don't give you a lot of points. So then the next high card is what's going to give me the most kills. Well, there's your swarms, there's your attack dogs, and then there's all those high kill streaks that load stars that, you know, take forever to get. And, you know, unless you're already an amazing player, you're not going to get all those kills. And so I came up with the kill streak setup of, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's came up with this. I'm probably sure there's hundreds of thousands of people that already use this setup. But what I found using combat training is the airstrike, orbital VSAT, and escort drone. And what that does is, lightning strike, my bad, not airstrike. And what that does is the lightning strike, it's going to give you 25 points per kill that it hits. So it doesn't sound like a lot because that would take every 4 kills it gets, it's going to give you 1 kill ultimately with your gun. So obviously you don't need to rely, that's not going to be too reliable. The only reason I chose that is because it's going to, you can get it a lot more easier than just putting straight up orbital VSAT. Orbital VSAT's a lot harder to get than a lightning strike. I'm sorry, I cannot think of these names off the top of my head right now. And then after, I mean, it's just so much easier. You have to think really smart with your kill streaks. And if you've unlocked a new weapon and you don't know how it works and you don't want to run around online and hurting your KD ratio, then you just go into combat training. You know, put on whatever difficulty you want to, and you throw a couple players on your team so it's somewhat realistic and you don't have 9 guys rushing you at once, and it's like, oh, it's a lot harder than you think having 9 people rush at you at once, even if it's on Recruit. But it's not the hard, it's doable. It's just not the easiest thing in the world to do. So just trying to make it as realistic as possible. That's the main point I'm trying to get across. You know, if you have a gun that's your favorite gun, throw a bunch of different attachments on there. Throw some perk greeds, maybe 3 weapon attachments. Mix up your classes and come up with different scenarios with different guns that you can just mess around with and figure out what works for you. I mean, you can look up all on YouTube, you know, how to be a better COD player, and then they're going to say put in an X amount of time using this specific class, but the truth is that's just the class that works for them. The whole point of combat training is figure out a class that works for you and select the difficulty that works for you that you're most comfortable with. And for this specific video, I obviously just put it on Recruit because I was trying to figure out different kill streak setups that would be the best to cycle through, and that's how I came up with these three kill streak setups. It's not so much for let me put on, you know, Recruit and then show off my amazing skill on killing people that barely move. It's just to make you a better player. Now, I know that, like I said, I mean, I'm sounding like a broken record here when I'm saying this, but it's so easy. I mean, there's so little people that actually go through with that, and they don't use it to their advantage, and it's so silly because it's already there. I mean, if you want to be a professional league player, or, you know, just being sponsored on YouTube, you know, you got to get really good at this game, and you got to just, you know, get good at this game. And this is a really easy, you know, really easy thing that you can use, a really easy guide. And the only downside is it can get boring, and that's with anything. I mean, you practice sports alone, it's going to get boring after a while, but it does make you a good player. And it's the same thing with Call of Duty. If you're going to be a gamer, you got to put in the time. and it pays off. I mean, you know, you could get yelled at for, oh, we'll go play outside and practice sports. Well, if you go inside and practice sports or practice gaming, then it's going to pay off in the long run. Now, I'm not the most amazing COD player in the world because I still need practice as well. This is just me figuring out what kill streaks I got, and I got the comfortable kill streaks that I feel comfortable with, and that worked for me. And so now I'm just going to, then the next step is figuring out the gun you want to use. Alright, so for Nuketown, I figured out that per map, you always want to mix it up. You know, if you get a kill streak set up, and you get your gun set up, and you get your perks, and you think everything's right, all you got to do is change the map. Put it on a regular, throw a couple of players on your team, do like a 6-on-6 with a couple bots on your team, and then just keep changing the map over and over again. And whatever, put it on regular, or not, what do they call it? Yeah, it's like regular or whatever. And then, basically, if you keep changing the map, and you keep, you know, going through this on regular team deathmatch settings, then it's just gonna, then that whatever score you get, you just average that out, and that's basically how you're gonna do online. Anyway, so that's the quick tip that I have for you guys. I really hope you take advantage of this. If not, then tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm Murderous Enemy. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.